Alrighty YouTube, welcome back to this train wreck of a shitbox. Last time you saw me, we finished off the interior and my god, did this ever turn out incredible. I wasn't very sure at first how I was gonna feel about the grass floor mats, but after seeing them in here with the seats and everything all complete, I absolutely love this. I know I've sat in here far too many times and said things about how much I love it, but I can't believe how good this turned out. Now it kind of feels like the tailgate dash is almost out of place in a way. Easily one of the favorite things I've done to this thing so far. Which means we get to move on to different stuff, which is actually right in front of me. These dirty ass brake calipers have been sitting here forever, and it's time to get them installed. They're not fully clean either, and at this point I don't really care because no one's gonna see them. So let's go ahead and throw these on, I guess, and see how much of a nightmare it's gonna be to plumb the brake system. And the parking brakes, I guess. First things first, wheels off. Oh my goodness, that's dusty. Are these calipers marked left and right? Bleeder screw should be on the top side, so this is the wrong side caliper. This guy, yeah, we got bleeder screw on top. I seem to have misplaced my one banjo bolt, which is interesting. And I have had forever some new brake lines for a C4 Corvette that I thought I might be able to make work. That's kind of the hope still. But from what I'm seeing here, it might actually not be that bad. Loads of rubber for suspension movement. This might be super easy. This might be a lot easier than I thought it was. Lots of ideas flowing in the head right now. I need to go see if I can find that other banjo bolt. Okay, no banjo bolt, but I was able to find a stool, which is good. So this needs to go onto the frame somewhere to allow my suspension to move up and down while still maintaining a brake system, obviously. That's the whole point of the rubber line, so your suspension can flop around. And I was kind of sizing this up like it was gonna sit about here, which would probably work, as long as this never contacts in such a way that it'll hurt itself. I think if I mount that right on the frame like that, that'll be good. So I need fittings to go into here. Except for the fact that apparently these Corvette lines use metric bubble flare. Ooh, that's fun. I thought most GMs were all inverted flare. Okay, well, I gotta run to the parts store. I guess I'll be right back. Okay, I am back from the parts store. I picked up, sadly, only one M10 fine thread bubble flare nut. I think I have some brake lines to make some out of. Also happened to pick up while I was there 2 brand new banjo bolts, so I don't have to worry about finding mine, which is awesome. And then also while I was there, I do have another solution if I can't end up using this T, which I don't think I'll be able to use. I ordered a brand new S10, I think you call it a differential brake hose. It's basically a T built in with a rubber line. Not that I need the rubber line, it's more the T I want because it adapts from a big line to a small line for your outs on each side. So that should come in tomorrow. That's kind of all I can really do for right now. Okay, next day, I got my hose. I also happened to get in my second M10 bubble flare nut, so I got both of those guys. If I remember right, this should be, oh, I forgot it had this kind of mount. That's gonna be interesting to use. Either way, this is I believe this is a 1/4 inch inverted flare in and then 3/16 inverted flare out. So it's a T-fitting with a hose. This is designed to go from your frame to your rear diff so you can have movement and still have brakes, obviously. This is one option I had considered for a T. The advantage of this little fitting here is that there is a mount that I could then stick right onto the crossmember, run my 2 brake lines out to their respective sides, and this would be actually incredibly simple. Except making a mount for this is gonna be kind of interesting. I just have to make a weird line with inverted flare on one side and bubble flare for the Corvette hoses, I guess. That's not a big deal. Maybe my dad has a part I could use that's a little better. Alrighty, check this out. Dad might have come to save the day, because this is used. It's just dirty. It looks, oh yeah, it's just undercoating on this actually. Yeah, look at that. It's practically brand new under there. Sweet. This uses a spring clip to lock it in as opposed to the big nut style on the one that I bought. I guess I'll have to save this for my other truck once I get into the drift truck build. My only fear is that this is kind of rusty. Oh, hey, it's actually moving. Maybe this is newer than it looks. And we have, oh, a bubble flare. Crazy. I thought they only use bubble flare on Euro cars. This is from a 4th gen Camaro or Firebird. F-body, I think that's what they call them. So then I wonder, are these also bubble flare? Oh, except for the fact that it's not. That gives me a nice little T. These have a funky indexing system on them. I wonder if my brake hoses will work. These are also kind of keyed much the same way. I'll have to do some modification to make that actually fit. I'd have to do the same amount of modifications either way. I may as well make them the same, right? Yeah, I'll make them from scratch. What the hell? I almost lost that one forever. Hey, there we go. Look at that fitment too. Nicely done. So we went from the hole on the left to the hole on the right, just with a little teeny bit of file work, which will allow this line to fit very well in there. And then that can never rotate. And with its E-clip on and the retaining clip, boom, there we go. That is a homemade bracket. Just gotta add a little bend to it and that'll be perfect. Okay, let's replicate the other one now. Alrighty, look at that. That is a brake hose bracket. Alright, what are the odds I can actually get these bent at the same spot? Oh, yeah. We did that pretty damn good. Ah. In the meantime, we can go... I am going to use this bracket because I'm using the original 4th gen part. I'm going to cut this basically to the same size as the ones I just made and then paint it black as well. Ah, yes. It looks a little familiar now, doesn't it? Alright, let's go put that guy aside too. I should get the brake lines on while I'm waiting. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. Caliper. Okay. Kind of eyeing it up here. I don't know if I want to mount these on the side of the frame, like I said, and have the lines go over, or if I want to mount it under the frame. I might be able to do that actually, because it's probably a little better and safer than the side of the frame. That might work actually. What do I want to do? I just had a sudden idea here too. I made the realization that I haven't actually added these bolts in. These are my safety bolts. Just in case somehow this crossmember decides to break the welds, it'll still be mechanically connected. I can use these bolts for the initial intended purpose, and I could probably also mount my brackets onto them. It saves me from drilling more holes. I think that'll be just enough room to get everything in where I need it to be. We're gonna do it just like that. Perfect. I will put some red Loctite on this bolt just for safety reasons. Boom. Sweet. I am kind of curious what this is going to look like at ride height. That's actually not so bad. It might start to rub on the frame a little bit. I think it's fine. For a first go, we'll leave it like that. Clip up through the frame. Some red Loctite. Brake line. And the spring clip. Oh, that's a springy boy. There we go. All right, let's get that middle line mounted now. Should be pretty simple. I just need to kind of relocate it so it's a little shorter. Rubber T reducer adapter bit. I'm thinking of mounting right in the middle of the frame and then running that over this way. It is right near the drive shaft. If that ever blows up, that's kind of scary. Maybe a shield is in order. For right now, I'm gonna be completely fine with mounting that right there. Just gonna sneak up in here. I think the lower the better for this guy. There we go. That seems reasonable. Oh yeah. That's what we like to see. I just realized that putting this here makes this one brake line a little funky. It'll have to come out, jump over, and then down. You idiot. It does now mean that I'm free to do the brake lines. Starting with this one. Ah, yes, the brake fluid is gonna leak all over the floor. Okay, there we go. That should be good for length. Oh, that's a puddle of brake fluid I haven't cleaned up yet.
Twist. Deeper the inside.
Well, it looks like a bubble flare.
Or your daily sweet count. Your wealth is something you've worked.
Now that was the hard part. Now to make the sidelines, which should hopefully be the easy part. All right, I found some stock of steel line that should be more than long enough to do that run. Then I only have to do one flare because it's already flared for me. Right about here, we'll bend her down. All right, that's pretty good. Okay, I got my spot. Good little tweak. Immediately another 90 the opposite direction. All right, there is basically one more line. Yep, that'll work beautifully. I'm gonna put the flare nut on here. I'm gonna go do that bubble flare. Actually, I'll make the other side line first, and then we'll make the flares at the same time. Odds that line was just the right length. Look at that. Cool. Let's get a flare on these bad boys. Okay, let's go get these brake lines in. Let's get some brake fluid in this thing and see if they bleed. Okay, I got fluid in the reservoir. Let's crack these bleeders open if they move. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's see if that fluid level drops at all. All right, get this guy on here. Let's see what we can pull through this. Okay, just off camera there, I discovered that the banjo line on the other side had just a little bit of a leak. I didn't have the bolt all the way in because the threads are kind of janky. So I fixed that, and I've managed to get fluid to actually drip out of this bleeder screw. Well, it was. You can see I've sucked a bit through here already. See if I can get a little bit more. It was still pulling air bubbles, which was not great. You can see there's still just air coming out of it. Oh, that's not a good noise. Can you hear that? Yeah, I'm not even paying attention. The main line there is dripping. I was kind of worried about that actually. Oh yeah. Great. Let's check that flare. Just guessing the flare I did on this must have been a little junk. Oh, yeah, the bubble is non-existent anymore. What? Oh, that's a new one. Copper nickel line isn't the greatest material in the world for holding a bubble flare. I have squished them before, never just made them disappear. Oh, that's a magic trick right there. Yeah, that is crazy. It looks like oh, that's a new one. Wow, dude. Who would have thought that's even possible? We'll give it a shot though and see. All right, let's go add some fluid and see if that's still leaking. Hoping for the best here. We've got fluid and air coming out of the bleed screw. And I don't have anyone to come pressure bleed this with me as of right now. Give her the old sucky suck and hope she gets most of the air out. It's pretty good. I'd say she sucks. I'm gonna go bleed the other side a little bit and then see what do we got. Just gonna let it sit here and gravity bleed for a little bit, and then we'll come back to it. You don't see any air bubbles trickling out like this. Just a constant drip of fluid. Got a pretty good constant stream out of there too. Just gonna go see how the brake pedal feels. It might still feel a little janky because I don't have the right proportioning valve in there. The truck is manual brakes, and it's obviously set up for rear drums, which take much less fluid than discs. I am fully aware that I probably have to change the proportioning valve, but we'll see. I do have pedal pressure. Oh, they are working. All right, I don't know if you can actually see any movement here, but I did have good pedal pressure. Let's see if I can at least demonstrate the pedal pressure I have. I don't, bear with me. Yeah, see, there's pressure there now. This is gonna sound like a really weird statement. A modern truck with manual brakes still feels like shitty brakes. Most S10's brake pedals, they sit almost level with the gas pedal in your power brake setups. The manual brake setup has the pedal sitting a little higher, so it makes heel towing in here extremely difficult, but it's also, there's just a huge pedal stroke, which is, it feels good. Like, hopefully you can understand that I'm pushing that pretty good. It doesn't feel spongy. It works, and I can damn near stand on it, and I don't feel it dropping, and I don't hear anything leaking or feel it leaking. So as far as I care, I think that's pretty good, which means there's really only one way to test this. I've never been happier to stall an engine. Yeah, baby! Oh, that's exciting. Oh, I am so happy that everything works. Look at that. Oh, it runs rich though. Oh. All right, now that the rear brakes are all working and that we've proved Rat10 can spin its own wheels, there's one piece left to do to the rear end to completely finish it up, and that's the parking brakes. Now, getting into the parking brakes, I spent a few hours trying to find a very important piece for the parking brake system. If you're familiar to S10s, their parking brake cable has this piece here, and it's supposed to have a little piece of metal. It's like a U shape. It's called an equalizer that pulls both of your cables at the same rate. It's a piece that looks like this. It's a little U-shaped piece of metal with a hole through it. Since tearing the truck apart, I have no idea where that piece went. So I've been trying to come up with a piece to bolt onto that I can use kind of in the same fashion. I got a little ahead of myself off camera. Let me show you the setup I have here. I started with a piece of 1/8 flat bar. I took that, I bent it over into like a little taco, then took that taco into the front entrance of my house because I happen to keep my press in my closet. Don't ask me why. And I have it I have it set up in the press here, and before I got too far, I at least wanted to show you what's going on. Now, if this isn't one of the more ghetto AK Strem setups that I've done, I don't know what is. Old steel lowering blocks in here supporting these two bolts, plus this block of aluminum because my press isn't exactly centered on the beam. My little taco's in here with a piece shoved in the middle of it to kind of keep the gap. And then I have a piece of stainless tube on these two bolts, and I'm currently pressing it, and it does look like it's starting to take a little bit of a bend. It doesn't really need the bend, but I want the bend, so we're gonna continue and hope it turns out okay. Oh no, oh, I smushed my stainless pipe. But we got the result I was looking for. It ain't pretty, and I don't know how I'm gonna get it apart now, but allow me to entertain you as I try to get this apart. Well, it sure isn't pretty. Well, it still looks kind of stupid, but it's better than it was. This is meant to grab your parking brake cables from the rear and then pull them semi-evenly, I guess. I don't know, it's all I had to work with. Well, let's go address the parking brake situation. Okay, it's almost time for parking brakes. There's a couple things I need to add. Firstly, I need to make some brackets for these guys. Man, I'm getting real good at bending these stupid things. And while I wait for those two guys to dry, we can go put the special piece for the parking brake onto the caliper. This guy. On the back side of the caliper here, there's a little pin that this part actuates on once this is threaded up in there. Maybe you can see that the caliper piston moving there. It just pushes on a little pin just to actuate it enough. And then up from the bottom here is a cable which pulls on this. You get a spring that holds it open this way. Good to go. So back here, this little lever, it just touches a little pin right where my finger is. And that just is enough to shift the caliper. And apparently even just finger pressure is enough to stop this from rotating by hand. Finger pressure, just thumb pushing down. Dude, really? I can't believe how well that works. Like this. Moving, 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 stopped. That is crazy. So now this end is supposed to stuff up in here, lock into the hole. Doot, 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 doot. What I'm doing here is a little funky. Goodbye. All right, now these big lengthy cables I got from my dad. I think they're from a 4th gen Camaro or Firebird. I don't know for sure. He has a lot of those parts kind of saved up. Put the little rubber booty. Wee. That guy can now get stuffed all the way through here. Now we got a big lengthy boy. And we can just jam this up its hole. Click it in place for good. There we go. Slap it on there. I think the return spring clips on. Probably like that. Yeah, whatever. Wee. Yeah, that's a springy boy. Now we get to find the best place to route these things. This looks like it'll run really good between my two bars, and I think if I put my mount just on the frame here so that it kind of sticks out enough, there should be just enough room to go all the way to the front of the truck where we need it. And then I can just zip tie that to the rod here. And I'm gonna save you the pain of watching that 2 times, so I'm gonna go do the other side and then we'll cut to when I'm under the truck. All right, I have no idea how much you're gonna be able to see or hear because my heater just kicked on as I was crawling down here. Here's the parking brake from the cab. I never remember if it goes above or below the cross member. I feel like above. Here's that silly little piece that I made to grab both of the cables. This guy will go in there like this with both cables through it. Whee. Ow. Oh, these might be kind of short. Maybe not. Yeah, we'll get one like that. Oh, this other one's very long. The other one's something like that. And then clamp it all together and hope it holds. Come on, there we go. We now have a loosely assembled parking brake system. Can I pull any of this cable through? Oh yeah, there we go. I'll have to show you this afterwards. This actually looks really good. Okay. We're getting there. Pretty tight as is. Maybe just a little bit more. I'm gonna go hit the pedal and see. Oh yeah, baby, they work. Good enough. Let's put this truck on the ground again temporarily. And because I'm stupid, we're going to deload my suspension by hand. Wee. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, I think they work. Oh yeah, dude. Garage is a bit of a mess, bear with me. Oh, call it a win, we drove Rat10. And I think that's gonna do it for today's video. I was kind of hoping to at least move Rat10 down the driveway and then back in the garage, but there is still a few too many things apart in the front end that I need to take care of before I move this anywhere farther than just a couple of feet. Those things mainly being the power steering system needs finished. I gotta put the belt back on, put coolant in it. The rest of my gauge kit I have to wire to its respective places. I have to run the harness just a little better, and then the most obvious thing is build the boost tubes and an exhaust pipe that goes down and back. I do also have to bolt the whole front end together. It's just kind of sitting loosely. This will probably fall off if I, yeah, I still got to get to that. Either way, getting the rear end done was a huge step. The parking brakes, that was the last piece of the rear end. This now has absolutely nothing left. So, with that said, we're getting ever close to the first actual test drive of Rat10. Thanks for checking me out. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you come back for more. Thanks for watching.